up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing the little overview of the truck and what I've done to it thus far of owning it in the 3 years that I've owned it. I'm going to be going over all the parts, the work I've done to it. I know this has been something I've been talking about for basically since I made the channel. I'm just going to do it today. But first off, I'm just going to go over, as you guys can see here, the Diode Dynamics hoodie. I ended up getting a spot with their ambassador program, so super pumped about that, super stoked. And I've been doing pretty good in terms of driving customers to them. I mean, it's not hard because the company is outstanding, but I have the SSC2 ditch lights here. These are the pros in the combo, so you're going to see the flood pattern here, and then the, I believe, like the driving beam pattern. And then up here in front, you're going to have the SS5 pros, and these are in the driving beam pattern as well. Right now, the white backlight is on. You have like, I think, 8 options for lights, or for backlight, or the Freedom Outfitters fog light brackets. And these are outfitted with the SSC2 Pro SAE fog light pattern in the yellow. And the yellow lights with Diode Dynamics, the backlighting is only available in amber. So right here, you're going to have the Mickey Thompson 295 70 17s on the black Rhino Alissos, and these are going to be 17 by 8, 0mm offset here. Let's see what else. You got the scrub blade, wiper blades. I mean, that's, I don't know if that's worth mentioning, but they're great company. I'm associated with them as well. And that giveaway that's going to be going on Instagram is going to have that scrub blade wiper setup. You're going to have their wiper fluid tablets. You're going to have their brand new glass cleaner that just got released that seems pretty awesome. And they're going to be throwing in like some stickers and stuff like that. And right here, you're going to have the CaTuned off-road bumper. And this is going to have, let's see, I got the Moose Knuckle off-road jowl split shackles right here. They're awesome because if you have to hook anything up, all you got to do is open this up, weave it in, close it, and you're good to go. I've used this, I've only had to use it once on this right here, and I had to use a metal shackle, so it wasn't the best, but it kind of scraped some of the paint off, but it is what it is. It works great. The attachment method is pretty cool. You don't have to worry about someone jacking these off your truck once they're on also, because they're kind of keyed a certain way. You need like a 1/4 inch head for a ratchet, and you end up torquing these. I believe it's still like 40 foot-pounds or something like that, so yeah, I don't think most people are going to be able to get that off unless it's like something that they've planned out for a while. And on here I have the winch fair lead from Agency 6. I have the Agency 6 winch shackle as well. I also have the Agency 6 little shovel up there. I'll show you guys shortly. The Hefty Fab rock sliders, I've had these now in the truck for about 3 years. As you can see, there's some rust, just surface rust and stuff. I have to hit them with the wire brush at some point and refinish all this. But these things are awesome, made out of Dom steel. They're not just really rock sliders, even though that's their intended purpose. They come straight out, which allows you to step up into the truck. I don't really like the ones that are tucked up tight to the body. I like these, and there's enough room. They're further enough away where if something really catastrophic happens, it's not going to come up and crush the bottom quarter panel of the truck. And as you guys can see right here, this is going to be the FrontRunner Slimline 2 roof rack. This is actually originally made for a Nissan Navara. I put this on the truck before any companies made anything for this truck. Like CBI didn't even release their roof rack yet. I'm proud to say, besides the one other dude who you know who you are if you see this, I think us two were the only ones to ever install this FrontRunner Slimline 2 Nissan Navara roof rack onto these new Frontiers. A lot of this stuff initially I had to make work with the truck. Like this Slimline 2 roof rack was made, like I said, for a Nissan Navara, but the footprint on it was about the same. I mean, it's almost the same vehicle as the Frontier, you would figure. So it's like a matte black Pro4x, I guess, vinyl. It just takes the spot of the factory one. I didn't like the way it looked. I like this subdued matte black. I basically just taped off the factory one so everything was perfectly lined up. But the matte black looks so much better than that red gloss black and white. As you guys can see here, I have the Z1 off-road exhaust with the black exhaust tip. I'd like to try to keep everything black besides the rims and a few other things. So this is the Diamondback tonneau cover. Right here is the FrontRunner load bars that are made for the Diamondback system right here. I bought this tonneau cover about 3 years ago when I initially bought this truck, and it's been great. There's little to no water intrusion in the bed. I mean, obviously dust is going to get in because there's no seals on the tailgate of the trucks here, which isn't a big deal. It is what it is with the dust. You can always buy the seals from a website or make your own too out of like rubber gaskets. But these load bars are great. They've been solid. I have no complaints about them. Like I said, I've had them for 3 years. This whole setup for 3 years. And I also had the roof nest on this almost consistently nonstop throughout the whole time I've had the truck, or since I had the tonneau cover basically. And I have no complaints about the roof nest as well. The shell has held up great to all the weather it's been exposed to. I've only had it off the truck a few times, like when I went to go get some wheels and tires and stuff, which is awesome with the Diamondback because you can actually just take off one section of this and leave the rest. So right here is the Diode Dynamics hitch light. I've had that since it came out also. I bought that a while ago. I like pre-ordered it before it came out because I don't really tow anything ever. And if I have to do any recovery stuff, you can just pop these two tabs to, and you're gonna just have to unplug this, but right now there's no slack on that cable from the back because I have it all tie wrapped up. But once to reinstall it, it's as simple as just pushing it back in. And as we come around here to the other side, this is going to be the MaxTrax MK2s. I have these mounted on, it's actually running for Taco's FrontRunner load bar mount, I believe is what it's called, or something like that. But it's specifically made for these FrontRunner load bars that I'm running on this Diamondback setup. And I don't know if that many people are running these or even really know about them, because I see people making their own and then like they have problems with them coming off and breaking because the hardware or the material they're using is pretty cheap. This stuff's pretty awesome. I believe it's like, I forget the gauge steel it is, but it's all steel. It screws together. As you can see here, it's pretty streamlined with the truck. The only thing is you have to open the tent and make sure you're not going to make contact with the tent once it's open, or else you'll scratch it up like I did. And it's streamlined with the body, if you can see from a different angle here. Let me just move this camera so you guys can see. Tucks in pretty tight. And then next up here we have the WeBoost OTR. And this WeBoost OTR, I've had this on the truck also since I've pretty much bought the truck and put the roof rack on. This was like one of the first purchases I made, because when you're going on any kind of long road trips, or if you live in an area where it's like really spotty cell phone reception, like upstate New York where I am right now, there's some areas when you're driving back to Massachusetts where you just don't have cell phone service, or it's so weak that your cell phone can't pick it up. What this does, it's basically just a signal amplifier, basically just grabbing a cell signal, and it's going to amplify the strength of it. And there's through this antenna into the amplifier system. From the amplifier system, it goes to a little remote antenna, or a transmitter, I guess you could call it, that I have mounted. I'll show you guys in a little bit. It's inside on the dash, like with the bullet point stuff. So like I said earlier, this is just the Agency 6 shovel. It's all aluminum, so you don't have to worry about it rusting. I've had to use this a few times. It's good if you gotta take a poop, just dig a hole. But yeah, it's just held down with these little thumb screws basically, and that's super solid. That doesn't go anywhere. And the way it's mounted is pretty awesome too, because you can also use this as a handle to get up on top of the truck. So I'm gonna go handheld for this here. As you guys can see, there's the peak suspension reservoir. And let me see if I can bring you guys the actual suspension setup up in there. Suspension right here with the reservoir that has the bracket and everything from Peak Suspension. So you basically just take it out of the box and install it. And you guys can kind of see the All Dogs Off-Road parabolics hiding in the back. Let me just get down under the truck to show you guys that. So there is the Peak Suspension right there. And the cool thing about it, like I said, is the brackets and everything are designed by them, and everything just fits seamlessly together, and it installs so easily. All Dogs Off-Road control arms, upper control arms here. I've had those basically since I bought the truck as well, because I did a lift kit pretty early on. And I just want to go back to the Peak Suspension stuff real quick. They're pretty awesome because they have their own brackets for holding the reservoirs and everything. Like I said, they designed this product or this kit like to integrate seamlessly into the truck, which it does. And when I'm in this front wheel well here, I'll show you guys the modifications I had to make to be able to fit this 295 70 17s. I cut a little bit more than I probably had to, but you have to trim down here where the pinch weld is. You got to kind of round that off. I cut this pinch weld back a little bit. I threw a Pro4x seam sealer on there. It's been on there now for 3 years like that. I haven't had any issues. The only thing I want to try to do is close up this open area. I constantly wash it out, but eventually that's going to probably become a problem. And then you guys can also see the Perry Parts front bump stops right there, kind of hiding in the back. Like I said, those will be end of this month. They'll be coming out. So real quick, I want to touch on the CaTuned off-road bumper. This was one of the first videos I put up on my channel, and I've had this on the truck now for about, I want to say 8 months. As you guys can see here, it comes up. It doesn't come into this area like the other bumpers that come all the way out to here. This cuts in over here. It allows you for the most clearance, I guess, for larger tires. And as you can see here, I actually trimmed all this plastic right here to go in line perfectly with that bumper to make like a seamless looking integration. Because this originally we came down to like here and tucked up under, but now it's just a nice clean line. The best thing about it is this right here, this 3D printed bracket that ends up housing the front facing radar, and you don't have to get it recalibrated. I know with other companies they say you don't have to recalibrate it after the install, but I know for a fact there's been multiple people that have had issues, and it ends up costing them a few $100s to go to the dealer and have them recalibrate that radar. So the fact that this doesn't have to get recalibrated right there is going to save you any kind of worry or headache in the future. I also like how it's very low profile. Right after where the winch mounts, it just dives right off. And the nice thing about it too is the way this mounts the winch, or the way the winch is mounted in this bumper, it allows you for a massive amount of room to manipulate the winch. Once the bumper is installed, you can easily install the winch afterwards. That's what I did. So I'm just going to show you guys here the bumper profile from the side. It's very low profile, tucks up super tight. Here you go from here. You can see that skid plate just lines up right perfectly with that bumper and tucks up on top of it. And the cool thing about this skid plate is all the mounting points are recessed up into the skid plate, so you don't have to worry about them snagging on stuff and getting damaged. Now here we're going to take a look inside the truck. So inside here, these are the air-on board push-button OEM switches. They look just like the OEM switches here. I don't think air-on board makes these anymore, so if you can find them, I would suggest buying them. They look super clean. If you have any extra ports open, to just use those as the switch. It's pretty awesome. You have to make sure though that you have a relay in place, or else these will burn out. Ask me how I know. And then up here, I have my bullet point mounting solutions set up. As you can see, I have the aux beam here in the middle. The way I have the aux beam, I showed you on a previous video. If you guys want to go check that out, just use some 3M double stick tape and stuff like that. Stuck a 20mm ball in the back, and bada bing bada boom, it's on there. So I have the anti-glare screen protect cover. I've had screen protect products on this truck since I bought it, because I noticed the screen is very soft and scratches very easily. There's also a screen protector on the instrument cluster as well. Now I'll show you guys here where I mounted the amplifier for the WeBoost. It's right down there. These cables run up under there, up inside this channel, and they run along this channel, come up here over into there. The antenna for it is actually right up here behind the aux beam, and then the switch for it is actually right here. I ran the wire into this, so the WeBoost is on, off, and that's pretty nice as well. Next, I'll show you guys under the hood. It's nothing too crazy. So I'm running Z1 off-road, their cold air intake. Over here I have my aux beam controller. I have the wires where the power comes up and around the fuse panel. And this is where the 60 amp fuse is, and then the power feeds into this. There's the aux beam here. And then, as you can see, I hid all my wiring in that split loom that goes across the back of the engine bay. I have wires running into the engine bay, more than just the aux beam, because I have those two air onboard switches right there that require the relays that you guys see over there. And at some point, maybe I'll change that, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll probably just leave it as is because I don't want to mess with stuff if there's no problems. Oh, and also, I'll show you guys the CaTuned off-road little ditch light brackets here. Why I like them so much? Well, first off, they hug the hood super tight, but they go up a little bit higher so you can angle the lights down a little bit more, which is also nice. But the best feature these have is, let me see if I can zoom in on the one over, is that right there. See how that wire is ran with the tie wraps and stuff? It allows you to just get that wire like protected and out of the way, because sometimes when you're going to close the hood, if you don't have the cable management down, you could crush the cable for the ditch light, and then you're going to be bumming when it gets damaged and stops working.